Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host this evening, Logan Landers. And joining me to talk about the Mississippi State Bulldogs 2021 team preview is my partner in crime, Jay McLovin. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, I'm good, man. Ready to talk a little Mississippi State football and the length of competition and competitors that awaits them for this season.
You're not kidding. We'll get to that in just a sec, man. But if you guys enjoy this video here tonight, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It makes the world to us. Whenever we see you guys sharing it in the Facebook groups that we're all in, it helps us out a lot. Also, go check out our podcast where we have daily episodes, whether it's team previews, draft profiles, legends interviews, you name it, it's more than likely over there. And we're available on pretty much every platform you can think of: Spotify, Apple, iTunes. Available now on Audible with your Amazon account. So we are available pretty much worldwide, I would say. So please go over there, check us out, because we just hit our biggest number, over 1,000 downloads in the month of June. So thank you guys so much for doing that. Let's get it up in July. Let's get to 2,000. Let's hope for that. So we'll see what we can do, man. But Jay, let's talk some football, man. Let's talk about the Mississippi State team. And you brought it up. Let's go ahead and get this schedule out the way because – oh, boy, it's a rough one. Who are some of the teams? Because there's not just one team. There's teams who are going to give this Bulldogs team a fit.
Yeah, when I look at this Mississippi State team – oh, I'm sorry. What was your question again, Logan? I apologize.
Yeah, no, just who do you think is going to give this Mississippi State team a hard time this year? Who are some teams you got?
Thank you. I apologize. Yeah, hey, Logan, that's why I look at it, man. Good Lord, they have a hard schedule. They got Ole Miss, which is a key game because it's a rivalry game. So that's Ole Miss and them. They always play each other hard. So that's when that can go left or it can go right. I don't know if it's clearly down the middle, but I look at Ole Miss as being a hard one. I see Auburn giving them some challenges. Arkansas maybe giving a little bit of a challenge, but Alabama, A&M, LSU, NC State. I mean, they got a pretty rough schedule, honestly, Logan. I see maybe. I know I'm gonna give them a favorable schedule just on a few games, but I'm looking at maybe 7-6. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. They went 3-7 last year, not a good year. Of course, they did play an all SEC schedule, so it was a little bit rough around the edges, man. But I don't know. I could see them maybe getting 5-6 wins on the year. I don't see them getting above 500. It's too rough of a schedule, and they're just not there competitively yet. They could get back there because let's not forget this team, a couple of years ago was a powerhouse. So they could get back there, but like every school, it's got its ups and downs. And right now, Mississippi State's been a little bit of a downward stretch. Like I said, went 3-7 last year. I don't see them improving that much this year just because their strength of schedule's got to be one of the hardest ones in just college football. Because like you said, man, you got Auburn, Texas A&M, Alabama, and then Ole Miss too. The list goes on and on just of all the big teams that this team is going to have to go up against. So it's not going to be easy. They're going to have to fight for those, like you said, 6 to 7 wins you might think. So I think that it is going to be another down year, another rebuilding year for Mississippi State, just being honest. But they do – it's not like, this team is just horrible. They're not going to win any games. They've got some good pieces. Jay, who are some of the guys that you have your eye on this 2021 season that you think are going to help out this team, get them a few good wins, whether it be on the offensive side or on the defensive side?
Yeah, I tell you what, if you watch this team last year, man, they came out in the opener and they had 623 passing yards and a win over LSU, but that's about where the buck stopped.
That was all the fun.
And then from then on, the offense just could not move the ball at all last season. The ground game was never really there. Matter of fact, they were the worst in college football. So change was needed. Offensive system needed an overhaul. Lots of jobs still up for the grabs. And the starting 11 should be stronger than it was last year because, let's be honest, last year they weren't really all that strong. So what I see is I think they need to lock down that quarterback spot. I think Will Rogers is probably the most likely to get it and be QB1. He threw for 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 7 picks. But you got to remember, he was thrown into the season to relieve Costello, who wasn't performing. And for a guy who was thrown into a season with players that really weren't all together there, and the run game was just in shambles, the fact that he threw for 2,011 and 7 is actually really promising. So I would like to see what this guy can do. Give it a full mini camp and take it in terms of taking the starting reps, and then let's let him get a full year in and not have to be the guy relieving the guy. But for just really throwing into a situation, and doing as well as he did for the rest of the season, I mean, I got to give him mad props, and that's why I really think on offense, Will Rogers is a guy to look for. And I'll tell you, at the end of the day, I think that's where I've always told you that's where it starts and ends with the quarterback in the field general. What do you think, Logan?
Yeah, this team's got a few holes in it, Jay. The quarterback, obviously the big one. Is Rodgers going to be the guy for you? Is he going to set you up for success, or is he going to have a little bit of a down year? It's going to be interesting to see. But they got to figure that out. Like you said, their running game was pretty much non-existent last year. So they've got to get their offense up to par, especially for an SEC program. You got to get some better guys in there, and you got to just get your offensive production up a little bit higher. So, I mean, on the offense, they got Jaden Wally as well, who's a good wide receiver coming into his sophomore year. And then Austin Williams as well. So, I mean, you got a decent squad over there for the offense, but they got to take a big step if they want to get anywhere closer to 10 wins and anything like that, and back in any kind of contention in the SEC. So the offense, it's kind of iffy, I would say. It's not a strong point for this program. But let's talk about the defense, Jay. Who do you like on the defensive side of the ball? Who do you think is going to help them out and get some turnovers and sacks and whatnot?
Yeah, let me pull over to my defensive page real quick. The best player on defense, I think, is going to be Aaron Brule. He's a junior, or Aaron Brule Jr. He's a linebacker. He's a disruptive playmaker. He's about 6'1", 235. And he's basically the best pass rusher on the team. The man has 77 stops, 4 sacks, 8.5 tackles for loss. And I just think that where defense has been struggling, this guy's going to have to be the guy that they anchor around, and then we'll go from there. But I think the best player would definitely be Brule Jr. And they have a decent secondary, so I'm not really going to hit their secondary too bad. But that front seven definitely needs a lot of work, and I think out of that front seven, Brule is probably your biggest playmaker, Logan.
Yeah, he's definitely got to be the star on the anchor on the defense, I think, at that linebacking position. I mean, you also got some other guys over there who are pretty good as well. You got Jalen Green, who's coming over. He's transferring over, so he's good. He's going to help them out some too at the safety position. I like Tyus Wheat as well, the senior at the linebacking core as well. So as long as this team, let's face it, Jay, they're still rebuilding. They're still trying to recoup, and they're still trying to get back to their winning ways. So just in general, just like some keys to this year, what can Mississippi State do to just improve their overall play? Is it limiting turnovers, getting more sacks? What do you think is going to be a big key for this team?
Yeah, on offense, I think they need to convert more on the third down side of it. Like you said, they had to stop the turnovers. Everybody has to stop turnovers. I mean, that's just that's a basic one. But yeah, stop turnovers, convert on third down. They need to get the run game going. And the keys on defense, like we said earlier, they got to get the pass rush up and going. And they just didn't do it on a regular basis last year. And that's where Brule really will come in handy. And hopefully Tyrus Wheat will join him. They have a lot of size on their defensive line. Not a lot of stars, but they got a lot of size on that defensive line. And I'll tell you, like 300-pound Jalen Crumbly, and at nose tackle, they have the pass rusher Randy Charlton from UCF. But they don't have a lot of very well-known stars. So the stars on defense are going to have to shine through. And, I tell you, the running back, Jaquavius Marks, he was the leading rusher. He got a team high of 60 catches. And Dylan Johnson is basically their power running guy. So they got to get that power game and the run game going. And they also have to get the pass rush going and limit the turnovers.
Yeah, and Jay, you pretty much summed it up, man. They just got to limit turnovers, get more turnovers if you're on the defense, get a better pass rush. And I mean, like I said, this team is rebuilding. They're going to have a few rough years, but in time, I think that this team could get built back up, could get back into their winning ways. It's just they're in a rough patch right now, all in all. They got a rough schedule. That's not going to help them do them any favors. But in a few years, this team could be dangerous, I think. It's just right now they're just trying to get everything figured out and what pieces they're trying to get in place for their future. So what are your final thoughts on this team here?
Yeah, quarterback Will Rogers is the key to their season. He really is. He has to take the quarterback position from last year where it was mediocre to this year, which it needs to be great. So he needs to take it from mediocre to great if they want to win more games. And they have to, and he does hit a ton of short passes, and he does show promise after being thrown into a situation. So I think that there's the position there for him is there. I think he's going to do a good job with it this year than what they did last year, because they're going to have a whole training camp of starting reps to give him. And I just think that if he can continue to grow upon those short passes and get the deep ball in there, and like you said, limit those turnovers, I think with Will Rogers, I think they're going to be okay. And yes, they're going to struggle this year a little bit because they are revamping their whole team for the most part. But to say that they can't get 6 or 7 wins, I think somewhere around there would be okay. That was where I put them at.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. Also, if you guys are watching us, drop a comment. Where do you think Mississippi State's going to land up this year? What's their record going to be? Let us know, and we will talk with you about it. And hey, also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, whether you're watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. We appreciate the views and all the likes and shares you guys give us. It means the world to us. Also, please go and check out our podcast. Just type in 100 Yards of Football. You'll see our logo right there on the 50-yard line. You can see all of our great team previews, legend interviews, really draft profiles, anything you can think of regarding football. We've pretty much talked about it on the channel. We also have draft classes as well. We did that a while ago. So we have a lot of great content. So please go over there and check us out. Be sure to give us a review as well. Available on anywhere you listen to it. Like I said, Spotify, Apple, available on Amazon now with Audible, iTunes, you name it, we are over there. Well, hey, for my partner in crime, my co-host for Unscripted, it's my guy, Jay McLovin. Thanks so much for coming on the show tonight, Jay. We have been talking about the 2021 Mississippi State Bulldogs team preview. And hey, you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. And you guys be safe and have fun. Happy 4th of July.